Hi, I'm Pamela Anderson, and this is Harper's Bazaar UK, and I'm going to talk about a few life lessons. What have I learned about style over the years? Well, I've definitely learned that I'm happiest when I style myself. I like to take chances, be a pioneer, not a follower. I just have fun with it. I think style is a great way to express yourself. It's just nice to try new things. I say, do something no one else is doing. I was always a tomboy growing up, and my mom always stressed the importance of being pretty. She always said, if you're pretty, you're more powerful. And she still to this day is she's gonna kill me for cutting my hair, by the way. She tells me stories of when she was young, she couldn't eat, but she could get her hair set into a bouffant. This is really like going to the beauty parlor was more important. But I've always rebelled against everything in my life. So I felt like when I came to America, I just thought, what do Americans look like? Like, what would a playmate look like? What would a girl look like in this thing? Because I was always playing characters. And so I just had fun with it. I really had fun with my style and makeup. And I had a wonderful makeup artist that I was very dear friends with, Alexis Vogel. She was the best. She was the best. And it was just fun to play and to, and nobody was really wearing makeup back then. They were like the dewy, modern look, like everything's dewy. That was the big word. And we were like, screw dewy. We're gonna, wear a full face of makeup. And I think when you're in your 20s, it's kind of fun. But I think as you get older, for me, I've found less is more. And I've even gone to the point where I don't wear makeup hardly at all anymore. But I do love it. But I've done it. And so I just prefer myself this way. And I think that's a great lesson, is that sometimes we just get into these habits of getting up in the morning, putting foundation on, blowing out our hair. And it's just like, what do you look like if you don't do that? You're not going to scare anybody. That's what I found. People aren't falling over backwards. Oh no, she's so ugly. It's just how it is, what it is. And self-acceptance is a beautiful thing. It's fun to try new things. And I feel like, gosh, I have saved so much time, and I've gotten to see so many more beautiful things and galleries and architecture and gardens in my travels than sitting in a makeup chair. There's a time and a place. When do I feel most beautiful? I think when I'm with my kids, when I'm in the garden, when I'm enjoying my life, when I'm working. I love to be inspired, and I think vanity is a prison. I think that once you can let that go, you're so free, and it's not about feeling beautiful, it's just feeling great. Beauty is the freedom to be you. How has my personal style evolved? Well, I've had some wild moments. I've evolved. I haven't reinvented myself. Just as my career has changed, my circumstances have changed in my personal life, just in life in general, I've just realized I like comfort and beautiful things, but not maximalist style or not necessarily expensive, just easy. And I'm a very visual person. When I'm creating a character for a film, the first thing I think about is, what does she look like? And I start, putting together references. Like right now I'm feeling a little Joan of Arc. Best piece of fashion advice? Boy, I should take advice sometimes, but I think it's mostly from my sons. They are very opinionated. They're funny, but they just have a good eye, and so I trust them. And we don't really differ too often, but I don't think they would have. I think they prefer my style now as opposed to earlier on in my career. I'm like a sneak attack mom. Like, I give sneaky advice, and then I realize when they're telling it back to me that it's actually sunk in. So I don't like to toot my own horn, but they learned a lot from me. I think what we wear matters because it's how we present ourselves to the world. Like, everything is kind of performance art. As soon as you leave the door, it's performance art. So how you want to present yourself to the world that day. Also, sustainability is something I think about, repurposing things. Vivienne Westwood said it best. She said, buy one great thing a year. Don't fill your closet full of stuff that, you don't really need. And I thought, that's good. That's good. I mean, Vivienne used to give me such great advice. I mean, she gives everyone great advice, Vivienne Westwood. She used to always say, I'm a voracious kind of reader anyway, but she's like, read and you'll never be boring and you'll always have a job. Just to be engaged in the world. Find your passion, but also be of service. I think that's the greatest advice. I know when I was on Baywatch, I was, doing a lot of work for animal rights and freedom of speech and, working with vulnerable communities because I found that my work wasn't that fulfilling. It was fun, but I wanted to bring more meaning to all the attention. And now I feel like I'm being able to have more of a balance of doing meaningful work and not being the poster child for everything. So you have to find a balance and find out what works best for you. So I feel like, we don't need to broadcast everything we do. We just need to be good people. The best piece of beauty advice I've ever been given and taken? I think from myself, I just thought one day, who am I? Sometimes we have this image of ourselves and we're keeping up with the Joneses and we're just not in touch with who we really are. So I think for me, it was just get back into the garden. Get back into the garden, get your hands dirty, feel the earth and grow some vegetables and get obsessed and distracted by important things in nature. And then see what happens after that. When you start thinking your own thoughts again, because we are thinking other people's thoughts most of the time because we're just inundated. And I think that doesn't feel good. So it's kind of nice to be in touch with your own thoughts and feelings. And then beauty just comes from there. What do you want to look like? How do you want to present yourself to the world? It's nice to be inspired by magazines and cinema and music and history, but that's just a jumping off point. We don't want to look like other people. We want to look like ourselves. So that's my advice. Success is different to different people, but I feel good right now. I'm doing what I love to do, and I feel hopefully on the road to success, but I like being in the muck. I like being in the fight. I like not getting everything you want, but I have a really strong work ethic, I guess, and so I grew up a certain way where I just feel like everything I have, I'm just grateful for. So I don't think I'll ever get to a point where I feel like this is the end or retirement or success, but I feel like I like the battle. I like the journey. I'm on the right track. That's all I can say. Oh my gosh. And people do ask me sometimes. I think they're crazy for asking. You want my advice, really? Where to start as an actress? I did it inside out and backwards. For some reason, sometimes people start in theater and they go to acting class and they do it this way. I kind of was, thrown into a TV show and then realized later on in my life how important the craft of acting is and got to start. I feel like I'm just starting my career now. It's never too late. You don't want my advice. Just don't do anything. I don't know. Everyone has their own way of doing it, so there's no right or wrong way. Just do it. What have I learned about confidence? I think it's a choice. I think that happiness is a choice. I think confidence is a choice. It's something you work on and something you always have to remind yourself that, you belong in these rooms. If someone else can do it, so can you. I'm actually a very shy person, if you can believe it. And I was paralyzingly shy when I was a child, and I always was trying to find ways to get rid of that because it was just so debilitating and paralyzing and uncomfortable, and I still feel it sometimes. I think confidence is something you just keep working on, and it's attractive. A confident person is attractive, but so is vulnerability, somewhere in between. I definitely used playing characters to get out of my shyness. That's how I did it, and I think that's how a lot of people, since I was a very young girl. I'm shy, but I'm comfortable on stage for some reason. So now I'm really working on who am I, and even peeling it all back and being able to be around these incredibly professional people that I'm around now. It can be intimidating, but it's exciting, and so I have to go, I should be enjoying this moment. Stop beating yourself up. I have this same connotation when I hear my name, I think that other people do. Some people think, oh, God, why is she here? And then I have to stop myself and go, no, you belong here. You have something to give and you are in the right place and you have so much more to do. Don't get in your own way. I think the most important thing is to not get in our own way. I used to be really good at that.
How have you had to deal with unfair criticism?
I think constructive criticism is fine. I don't know. I wouldn't say criticism was the hardest part, but to see, there was a time in my life where, stories were written that were untrue and things like that. Those can be very hurtful, things can be hurtful, but you have to get past it and move beyond it and know who you are. But I do feel like we're our own worst critics, so can't be any worse than that. What makes me feel most empowered? Just that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. I'm fearless. I am excited about my work, and my relationship is to my work. I have no distractions. My kids are grown. They're healthy. They're happy. They're on their way. They're, great businessmen and wonderful gentlemen, and that's the most important thing to me. So, all good. Thank you, Harper's Bazaar. This was fun.